Hello and welcome to PAXTON Road TV. I am Sam, Spurs for life, and this is your PAXTON Road TV preview show for the game Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham Hotspur, which kicks off on Sunday, 4:30 at the City Ground. And we are here to preview the show. And as always, I am here with my esteemed, excelente, fellow season ticket holders, Sid Spurs, Sean Hurl. I like to get that one in, Sean. You know that every single week I'm doing that. Every single week. Welcome to the stream. How are we doing?
All good.
All good. I'm delighted. Group delighted.
Don't say it too loud. Some people will think it's a fix, you know what I mean? So we're not going to say too much about the Champions League draw, but it's fair to say it's a decent draw. Sid, what was your initial thoughts on it? Let's have a quick little chat on that, and then we'll move on to the actual stream itself.
Listen, all I can say is yeah, Torre.
Don't forget the Colo. You got to have that.
Oh dear. In the cold light of day, I think the group might be a bit more difficult than we think, but we definitely got the best we could have got out of pot one. But we shouldn't underestimate Lisbon and Marseille. They are good teams, and their coefficient is pretty good as well.
And joining us to help us out on this stream, he's just fixing his camera, and he's there, but he's there. He's on. It's 3K. Welcome to the stream. We're just having a quick chat about the Champions League. Sid, what's your thoughts on the draw?
I think we said it yesterday, didn't we? It's probably the easiest group. Saying that, though, I was looking at Chelsea's as well. Chelsea's is not as hard as everyone makes it out to be, but we've got to beat whoever comes to our stadium and wherever we go. So it doesn't matter what the group is, you've got to beat what's in front of you. So
facts.
Simple.
It is simple.
Hello, everyone. By the way, good afternoon, good morning. I know you've probably been up for longer than I have, but I thought I'd say hello to everyone before we
said today, eh?
I got to make sure I'm awake for the 12:30 game, and then that's fine by me. That's a good day for me if I'm awake for the 12:30 game.
Man United
playing today. Yeah, and then Arsenal at 5:30 as well. So.
We got to get it done. Come on, let's move on. Right then, Darius, quick thoughts on the Champions League draw. I know you and Sean did the show, which is a great show for those who watched it.
Thank you.
Thoughts?
I first of all want to give 98.5% of credit to that show to Sean, because he set it up, he hosted. I was just there, lying in bed with my pug, just reacting to the whatever happened in the draw. So I'm not going to take any. I'm not taking any. He
got the bloody group right, did he not?
That is one of still the scary. I've got the clip ready to put on Twitter, because that is one of the scariest things I've seen. The fact that simulation got our group spot on. It's one of these scariest things. But you know what? We couldn't have asked for. And I've sort of seen people speaking about this on Twitter. A lot of people said easy group, and I don't agree with that. But it's the easiest group I think we probably could have got, or one of the easiest groups we could have got. Maybe barring that pot D, because Marseille came from pot D. Teams like Haifa, Pilsen in that group. But I think if you looked at the pots and the teams in the pots, the fact that we came out with Frankfurt in pot one and Sporting in pot three, I believe they were in. Yeah. I can't complain. I can't complain at all. So I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's the most favourable. It's the most favourable group I think we could have gotten, or one of the most favourable groups we could have gotten.
I think the only thing I wanted to make sure was that we didn't have two big boys in the same group. You could have got PSG and Barcelona in the like, oh my god.
I mean, what's the big group that we said was a horrible one, Sean? Is it
Group C? Group C.
Barca. Was it that one?
No,
it was. Bayern Barca, Bayern
Barca and Inter,
and then they've got Victoria in fourth as well.
But then
I wouldn't have liked
PSG and Barcelona in one group as well. Is that right?
PSG are with Juventus in a group.
Oh, Juventus.
In Group H, yeah.
Ajax are with Liverpool, so there's loads of good teams together. Like we really did avoid like a lot of the big teams.
Yeah.
Just for you tuning in, it is our actual preview show for Forest, so we're going to move on now because we can get to the Champions League. Right then, gentlemen, let's do this. Okay, so Forest versus Tottenham kicks off Sunday. League tables. So I've had to cut down some of it now as we're getting into the point where we can see the table beginning to form slightly. I know it changes after 3 points when you've only played 3 games, but we are in the top 4. Arsenal top of the league, Manchester City second, Leeds currently occupying 3rd place, and Tottenham in 4th. As you can see, down to Manchester United in 14th. I didn't even have space to put in Liverpool, unfortunately. That's their business.
Leeds are only there on alphabetical order, by the way.
Okay, that's all good because we've got the same goal difference, haven't we? That's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So pictures this weekend, Saturday, today, kicks off Southampton versus Man United. That'll be a tasty game. So we're going to try and wrap up for that. Brentford versus Everton, Brighton, Leeds, Chelsea versus Leicester, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. In the late evening fixture, Arsenal versus Fulham, London derby. And we have those guys next week. Fulham, that is. Sunday, obviously, tomorrow we play Nottingham Forest away at 6:30, 4:30 kickoff, Wolves, Newcastle, and Aston Villa versus West Ham before that at 2 o'clock. And breathe. What are we thinking about the fixtures for the weekend then, gentlemen? That Southampton Manchester United game, that's going to be tasty. Manchester United, obviously.
No Maguire, no Shaw, no Ronaldo again.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
And no Casemiro as well.
But do you know, I have a sneaky suspicion that United threw a lot of their eggs in the basket on Monday last week, and that they may have a rebound and they not be as good today. And Hasenhüttl will have an answer for them. So I think, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that United are back.
No, United threw the eggs, the bacon, sausages, toast, beans, all in that same basket when they play Liverpool. You see the way they celebrated like they won the Champions League for the 4th time or whatever it is they're on. Sid, what's the pick-out game for the weekend? I'll just put them up again for those viewers.
You know what? Looking at all that, right, I'm probably looking forward to Brighton against Leeds.
Good shout.
I think that'll be an interesting game because the way Rodrigo's playing at the moment and Brighton are no pushovers as well. I think that'll be an interesting game. I think today's games, I think that one, I mean, I can say City Palace, but I think just for the entertainment and whatever's going on at Leeds and Brighton, I think Brighton Leeds will be a good game. Yeah,
I'm looking at the Arsenal Fulham game. Fulham have a terrible record at the Emirates, but Mitrovic, new London derby coming in. I want to see him, how he's going to, play against them centre-backs, because everybody's loading up these centre-backs for Arsenal. Let's see when they get a real striker, a real number 9 who's going to be terrorist in the air, going to be messing them about. Let's see how they play. Darius, pick of the fixtures for you.
Sorry, Sam, just a quick one. Sorry, Darius, to cut you off.
Yeah, no worries.
Chelsea Leicester's going to be an interesting one with Fofana now being finalised at 75 million.
I think that's the reason they finalised it before this game.
That's going to be an interesting one.
Good shout. I was thinking that, to be fair. I was looking at that Chelsea-Leicester game, but I don't actually rate Leicester, so I do think Chelsea are probably going to slap them up, to be fair.
Must be ticking on Brendan Rodgers, aren't they?
Yeah, he's not got... Him and Gerrard, I think, haven't got very long left. But you know what? As much as I don't want to admit it, just because we're playing them next week, I've got my eyes on that Fulham-Arsenal game, and it will be interesting to see how, they deal with it.
Arsenal Fulham because it's at the Emirates.
Arsenal Fulham, should I say?
Then I would have said it would have been a really tricky game for them. I still think it's going to be a bit tasty in the first 20 minutes or so, but if Arsenal score first, the way they're attacking, I'm not sure Fulham have got that many goals in them without conceding more goals. They're a bit
slightly confident about Arsenal not being able to maintain what they're doing, but with the team that they've got at the moment and the confidence that they've got, I do expect them to kind of steamroll Fulham. However, I do think Fulham, like you said, will probably make it difficult for maybe the first 45. I just have a feeling that, when you've got so much confidence, and you can't knock Arsenal for it, they're playing very well at the moment. When you've got this much confidence, you kind of, while the team's as good as it is, they're going to play until one of those big players get injured. So I don't think they can sustain this unless they get a few more players, but they do look good. So I think they will deal with Fulham. And you know what will happen if they deal with Fulham convincingly, and then next week we go and make it scrappy? They're going to be like, there's levels, we're way clear of this. But they've not played any big teams yet, so they need to hold their horses.
I'm just looking to the right of my screen and I can see Armory TV in here. We've been talking about Arsenal versus Fulham for too long because this lot are in here now. Good afternoon, Armory TV. They've snuck in. Expect you to finish top of that group. They're giving us grief already.
Put him
Tottenham away. What's up?
You
Sam?
worry about Bodo Glimt. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you.
You got lucky, and you're lucky you've got no big trips to like Azerbaijan or somewhere like that in the Europa League.
I had to put it back across the bottom. The bottom banners you can see welcome to PAXTON ROAD TV. This is actually the Forest preview, and we spent however many minutes now, 10 minutes, and we ain't even mentioned the game really, but we are going to do that now. So the form currently of the two teams, last 5, well, it's not last 5 matches because Forest went back into, obviously, championship. So I've only put the last 3. So that should have been 3 matches. However, it's 5 normally. And breathe. So 2 wins for us and 1 draw, 7 points on the board. A win, a loss, and a draw for Forest. So this is the season so far. In terms of position, we're 4th. 1-2 games, drawn 1, as we've said. Lost none. Average scored per match, 2.33 to Forest is 0.67. Average goals conceded 1. Clean sheets, both have got 1. And chances created per match, 2 for us and 0.67 for them. Biggest win of the season, 4-1 opening day for us. And their biggest win, only 1-0. Suggests to me they don't score too many goals. Sid, firstly, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to be a case of Conte's going to make some changes, release these players, get them to attack? Or, as I saw in the masterclass, he's got a very, very structured defensive shape, as we've seen, 5-4-1. Are we going to play off the counter-attack against Forest? We've got 19 new players? Surely not.
Unfortunately, Conte's got a system. He's got his first 11 sort of sorted. I don't think he's going to change much. We touched on it yesterday, didn't we? Saying that a couple of players probably need to have a rest or get the form and maybe not start. However, I still think he's going to stick with the same team that won last week, which means Perisic will start, Son will start, Kulu will start, Kane will start. The only one that I want to see starting is Basuma. I want Basuma to start tomorrow at all costs, no matter what. He's got to get in, and I think tomorrow's going to be probably the best ideal game for him to start because Forest are in transition. 17, 18 players bought in. I don't think Cooper knows yet what his best team is, so he's sort of dilly-dallying with the players in and out of the squad. So for me, Basuma's got to start tomorrow.
Yeah. Darius, I think the organisation, as Sid has just mentioned, the organised team that Conte will put out, they know what they're doing. Forest, as you said, a bit of a transition. So many players to come in. Surely they couldn't have thought out who's going to be their best team at the moment. But I will say this, they would have got a formation to play. They will probably have got a tactical way of playing us because it's quite easy to go and watch the last 2 matches. Do you anticipate any changes in terms of the lineup tomorrow? We've scored in every single game this season in the league so far, 4 in the first game, 2 against Chelsea, and obviously 1. Forest, not so much so. Do you expect us to be starting with a few different players?
You say best squad. I think he still doesn't even know what his best 16 is. I mean, he's bought about 19 players. So, like I said, he could fill his whole bench and, 11 with new players. So I think that will play a factor. I think they'll go like for like on formation, or they'll go 3-5-2. With Jesse Lingard and Brennan Johnson playing up front, working off each other. Don't know how they'll do it yet. Can't even go through all the players that they've signed because there's just too many to name. I mean, Freuler from Atalanta is a standout for me. Nico Williams is probably a standout. I mean, I think they're potentially even signing Serge Aurier as well, which is crazy. So I just think it's going to be a case of, like Sid says, going with what you know, and I think you'll see that the difference between us and running through the same tactics, going through the same things, the same transitions, the same attacking, structure, it will show in the game. Whereas, like Sid says, and Sid mentioned very well, there's a lot of players that are being introduced into that team, and it's going to take a lot. So I do think it's going to be just play in the team that there's going to do well. The same way that you want Basuma to start desperately is the same way I want Perisic to start desperately. And I think if you do have those 2 players on the pitch along with everybody else, I don't really see how Forest have got enough firepower to beat us. As long as defensively we're good. I think Sanchez has now proven with the Wolves game that he is, I think, adequate enough as a cover for Romero. He hasn't conceded in a long time being on the pitch defending. So I think it's just going to be a case of knowing how to do what we normally do and just doing it confidently.
What I wanted to try and I'm asked Sean this because I'm interested to know how Forest will approach the game. Being the home team, first year back in the Premier League after X amount of time. We know how long it's been since Forest have been here. Do you expect them to go at it? Do you think they should take the game to Spurs? Bearing in mind, if they do press and they do press high, they'll probably get a bit of joy out of it. You know, I know we haven't conceded loads of goals, but we have conceded 2 against Chelsea. We did concede that opening against Southampton as well, which again was down to a bit of pressure, you know, getting into areas of the pitch where, you know, it's forcing players to make decisions quicker. Do you expect Forest to take that approach, or do you think it's going to be a case of respecting Tottenham, respecting Conte a bit too much?
I mean, they've got a really canny coach in Cooper. I quite like him as a coach. I think he will have a game plan for tomorrow. He may well try to say, you know, we need to, you know, respect the fact that we've got killers at the front of our attack. But I think the crowd will bring them on. I think they will start. You know, that the crowd will gee them up to try and have a go at us like they did against West Ham. Although I believe I didn't actually see that game, but people said that West Ham shouldn't have lost that game. To be fair. Not least from missing a penalty, but you know, it's I think they'll come at us, and we can hit them on the break, as the comments have said. You know, I think we'll. I suspect it could be. I'm not saying it will, but it could be a sort of like Villa away performance last year.
Yeah,
you know, that we, you know, as our superior fitness comes in, that we really punish them late in the game. So yeah, I think. You know, I'm quietly confident about tomorrow. Yeah.
It's very similar things. You always have a period of the game, the first 15, 20 minutes, usually possibly up to half an hour, where both teams are kind of, you know, it's like that boxing, a bit of chess match. You know, they might go at it. It's unsettled. The game's unsettled. When it starts to get into patterns, then we'll see how they play. I can see Forest, as the comments have said, going at it. I think they will come at Spurs. It's whether Spurs now, are we confident in ourselves that we can go a goal down if we go a goal down and come back? See, because that's what we've done a few times this season already, you know. So do you think that's going to be the same if it's a case of we just stick to the game plan, because we've got the players now on the bench to come in and change things? But I want to see changes from the start. Now we've got the rota, or at least the fixtures going forward for the Champions League. There is now going to need to be looking forward a bit further to start making some changes. So again, is the confidence in the players that if we started a few others, would you still have the same confidence that we could come back from a goal down?
Do you know what? I think Conte's drilled it into them that if you go a goal down, you're capable, more than capable of winning the game. Obviously, we went down quite early against Southampton, so we had loads of time to come back into the game. And with the players on the pitch and off the pitch, with the triple substitutions and all that you can do, players can come on and influence the game. But a couple of players not on form at this precise moment. So for me, is it worth trying Richarlison tomorrow? Is it worth starting him tomorrow at Forest to see how far he's come since pre-season, and is he capable of actually pushing and starting a game? Because Son's not been on form. Kulu's not been on form in a way. So could it be for him? Because yesterday was interesting. He's also said that at some point he's going to have to drop Kane, because he can't play Kane every time, so he's going to have to rest him. So it'll be an interesting one. But yeah, I think we can come back from a goal down. I think we can come back from 2 goals down, because he's got the players that hyped up and believing in themselves that they can come back.
Certainly the mentality shifted. You know, that Chelsea game showed me that, you know, we didn't play well. We didn't play well at all, but we got a draw out of it at Stamford Bridge. That's a mentality thing. That had to be a mentality thing. We just kept on going. 96-minute goal scored. Let's look at the recent meetings, and then we can have a bit of a chat about this. So these are the recent meetings against Forest. Obviously, there's nothing even in this 2000s. We are talking about going back to 1999. So April 99, Forest 0, Spurs 1. Then we go to November 98, 2-0 to Spurs at White Hart Lane. And then 97, 1-0 Forest. Sunday, 19th of January 1997, Forest beat us 2-1. And back in 96 at the City Ground again, Forest beat us 2-1. This is the Premier League record against Nottingham Forest, ladies and gentlemen. They are winning. They've got 6 wins to our 3, 1 draw, 3 at home, 3 away. does that actually mean anything, Darius? Going back to 1999, before you was even on this earth, do you even think that there's even any sort of reason why we should consider this as a record against us?
Only sort of, I think Steve Cooper might use, that cliche of, he might show the players that in the dressing room and say, look, we've got the record on them. We're the better club. We're the bigger club. We've got a European trophy, etc., etc.
Two European
They've
cups,
got
mate.
two big ears as well. Not even the smaller one, should I say? But yeah, I think it's a little bit of, I think it will only be used by Steve Cooper as a bit of, I don't know, motivation fuel, I guess you could call it, just to kind of get them gas, get them ready, knowing that they're big Nottingham Forest. But I don't think in the actual game it's really going to have an impact, because you look at both teams. I can't even tell you where or what position we finished in that 97 season. So I think it's going to be a completely different game. However, I do have a feeling that we've mentioned them coming out. I think Tottenham away mentioned in the comments that they're going to come out firing. I don't see why they wouldn't, especially given the fact that they beat West Ham. I know they probably shouldn't have, but I think they're going to come out firing. I think they're going to try and prove, that they can beat these big London clubs, these big clubs, and try and salvage. I think a point for them will be good. So if they can take the lead or even get 2 goals potentially, we're going to have to score 3 to win, and they'll take a 2-2 draw. So I think it's just going to be a case of, not letting them start hot or not letting them score from their hot start, because I think that hot start is going to be inevitable. So just, being a little bit more rigid at the back and not because we concede. So we start so poorly. I mean, the first 3 games of the season, we've started poorly, and I'm just waiting for that first game that we start from minute 1. And I think we'll blow teams away if we start from minute 1, because that's how we should be playing. We should be scoring 3 goals in the first half and then, being able to relax in that second.
Darius, we finished 10th in 1997 and Forest finished 20th.
Well, there you go. I mean, we shouldn't be using 25-year-old stats to even look at this game, but that's how crazy it is. That's how long it has been.
I was going to say to Sean, does that put any fear into you then, seeing that Forest have got a winning record against us back from 1999? Do you know what I mean? Are you scared now?
No, it's 23 years of them not even being in our radar. Why would I be scared about historical results like that? I probably actually went to those games, so don't I'm old enough to have gone to those games, so don't I'm not going to worry about that. There's one sort of trump card I think that Forest have, and that is that if there's a player that plays well against us, it's Jesse Lingard. He always has a game against us. Like when he was on loan at West Ham, he was terrorizing us. So I just, we should be beating them, but we do need to keep an eye on them. I would much prefer to have Romero available tomorrow, but Conte's already ruled that out. And we've got a big game midweek, folks.
Hold that Jesse Lingard thought, because there is a big game midweek, and also hold it because I don't want to see him do no Michael Jackson moonwalking, so he can't score, because I know what he's like. He'll do some celebration that will piss me off. Sid, City Ground record. City Ground is very close to myself and Darius below, so we're hoping that we can get to go. It'd be nice to. The crowd's going to be up for it. Are you thinking that what's his name, Steve Cooper? How's he going to motivate these players to come out to play against Spurs? Is he just going to say, it's Spurs, lads, we've got a winning record against them, or is he going to say, we've got to play well, we've got to do all the rest of it, work hard, blah blah blah? I don't know. I'm not sure how Forest's going to start this game. You got any more thoughts on that?
He's probably going to go in that dressing room and say, guys, they're playing Fulham next week. You never know. Fulham might beat them. I'm joking. No. I don't think they'll need any motivation. I think they know they're in the Premiership. They've waited 20-odd years to be in the Premiership. And whether they're playing Tottenham, whether they're playing Man City, whether they're playing Brighton or whoever, I think they'll take every game as it comes. Because for them, every game in the Prem is a massive, massive game. And what they'll want to do is win the ones that they can win to stay up, because they'll want to sustain that to stay in the Premiership to get the money coming in, so that all these players that they're buying, I think for them it's kind of like a Newcastle, where they're just buying players to sustain themselves in the Premiership for next season.
So sorry to interrupt you, Sid, but you made such a good point. I just kind of wanted to get your opinion and Sam and Sean's opinion just on the 19 signings or 18 signings that they've made, and if you think it's going to be good for them, or you think it's just going to completely backfire on them?
If they stay up, it's worked. If it don't stay up, I don't know what they've done in their contracts. It all depends on how they've contracted these players. That's the biggest thing. Because if we
won't know to May. Basically, we won't know to May. If they stay up, then it's worthwhile. They're actually building a team for next season.
Yeah.
I mean, the word appears to be that they weren't expecting to get promoted last year. It's against.
Oh, they weren't. They were 20th place when he
exactly.
Took over,
so I mean, this is obviously a bit of there's been a bit of panic buying and making sure that they've got a squad to get them through. But no one more panicky than Serge Aurier. But it's I just think we won't know until May. It's really hard to make a decision at the moment, and we're only 3 games into the season, so it's hard to say.
Cooper, when before he took that job, he actually saw, because he was in the Championship, and he's probably seen how Forest were, where they were when he took that job. Like you said, Darius, they were unshown. They were 20th, and to do what he did with the players that he got was unbelievable. But then he must have thought, do you know what? This squad was at the bottom for so long. They were struggling. I think they're not capable of standing the Premiership for a whole season. So he's probably halfway through that season.
Well, remember, half the squad last season was loanees.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's already been building, and he's already had it in his mind that when I get into that Prem, slowly but surely, I'm going to have to start getting players that.
Good planning, though. Good planning.
It's a massive, massive gamble. If they stay up, it's a gamble that's worth the risk because they've got the players already. The transition will be easier. If they go down, it's a whole lot of mess because of the contract.
You forget they signed Emmanuel Dennis. You forget that they've signed Emmanuel Dennis, who was
Dean Henderson
Watford's best player. Dean Henderson. These are really good players, and the amount of signings they've made, you forget that they've actually signed a lot of actually very good players.
Did they not just sign a South Korean and then loan him to
Olympiacos?
Yeah.
So they are future planning. You are right.
They are future planning. Yeah.
And the chairman,
go on.
So I was going to say, the chairman's backing them as well. He's giving him the money. So,
Third most spent in the Premier League, I think, at the moment, behind Chelsea and United, if I'm not mistaken.
What I will say to that is because there's historical evidence in the past that suggests if you get it wrong, it can go really wrong. I would imagine that they've got something in place that can kind of tell me they're not going to go down that road. So it's like a plan A, plan B, plan C, right? If we do go down, we can do this, this, and this. If we stay up, great, we can do this, this. Must be. You can't take that gamble in the Premier League these days and make that amount of signings, spend that amount of money not to stay in the Prem. Because if you do go down, there's a whole lot of mess that can happen. We've seen...
Well, the Prem's completely different now. Even 3 years ago, I think the Prem's completely different to now. Because I said on Twitter a few days ago, there's about 10 to 14 good to very good teams in the Premier League now. I mean, you look at the likes of Crystal Palace, like Villas, West Ham's, Brighton's and stuff like that. And that's no easy game. I think it's going to be like maybe 3 or 4 teams who are really significantly worse, but the rest of the bunch is going to be hard games all throughout the Premier League. So I don't blame them, but I just think it's risky. It is risky, and I don't want Forest to go into a Leeds situation, a Derby situation,
because they've been close to that before. So Forest they don't want to be going into that territory. Don't want to be going Derby territory. That's definitely not what they want. Coventry, obviously, there's Midlands teams we've been unlucky recently.
There has been a few, yeah.
Before I get on to the last part of the show, in terms of the score predictions, I want 2 names from you each in terms of ones to watch from each of the teams. 1 from Forest, 1 from Spurs, and then we'll see what my ones to watch are. Sid, who's your ones to watch? 2 names, 1 from Spurs, 1 from Forest.
Oh, it's always me. Okay. I think for Spurs tomorrow, Boomer, because I think he'll start. And for Nottingham Forest, this guy was on fire last season. He absolutely smashed it in the Championship, and he scored goals left, right, and centre. So Brendan Johnson for me is the one to watch from Forest.
Interesting. Sean.
I'm looking forward to seeing Morgan Gibbs-White because when I saw him start for...
about him as well. God, they've got so many signings. Sorry, Sean, I just forget about all the signings.
I mean, when he first arrived on the scene at Wolves, I thought this is a baller. He's a really good player. I don't know what happened. He was finished up on loan to Sheffield United, I believe it was. But I'm looking forward to seeing him. And for us, I'm looking forward to Richarlison.
Interesting. Darius, your 2 players.
Tied between for Forest, Nico Williams. I'm tied between Emmanuel Dennis and Dean Henderson. For me, I think Henderson is top class centre back goalkeeper. I think he's, Man United obviously wanted to keep him, but as a second choice to De Gea, I think he's better than De Gea at the moment. He's very, very assured. So I think it's going to be tough to break him down. But, with that, I do believe our strikers will have a lot of chances. And then the only reason I mentioned Dennis is because I think he was amazing for Watford, and I think he will provide something for Forest. And then for us, I'm gonna say Perisic. I want to see Perisic continue doing what he's doing, but also I do want to see Jet Spencer at least on the bench today, because I think he could really.
I would like a little 20-minute. I'd like to see a 20-minute cameo late on in the game when he's fresh.
No. I don't think it will harm anybody for him to get at least 10, 20.
He won't be on the bench.
I don't. Okay. We'll hope he is. That would be sad if he's not, because he hasn't been on the bench for the last 2 games. He's opening game against Southampton, but he hasn't been on the bench since. My ones to watch. Nobody's mentioning about the goalkeeper. For me,
I just did.
You just did.
Sorry. I just did.
And I mentioned Perisic. I got yours spot on, mate.
Apologies. I thought I had something else in there, some other Emmanuel Dennis. I thought that's what I heard, Emmanuel Dennis. So
I gave Dean a little shout out. I gave him a little shout out.
Okay. Well, these are my 2, because I hope we pepper them. So Dean Henderson's going to have a great game if we pepper them. And even Perisic, I think he's going to be very much involved down that left-hand side. If Son can get his act together on that left-hand side, they could form a real good partnership. And, again, if we even to introduce someone like Longley into the team as well, he could be another attacking threat with his passing ability. I think that left-hand side for us is going to be key. Kulishev's going to right. Obviously, we know about him. But again, for me, we've got more attacking threat down that left-hand side now that we've got Perisic in the team, because we know that our friend at right back, Emerson, possibly doesn't have as much attacking intent. Those are my 2 to watch out for tomorrow. Now,
what, Sam? I just wanted to say, and I was having a debate with somebody about this. I personally think Perisic is world class. There was people were putting up like all the world class players in the top 6 clubs, and I wouldn't even put Lloris in there. I'd put Perisic in there because I actually think Perisic is a world class for his position.
He's won the World Cup, mate. You've got to put him.
I don't think Lloris is world class, but that's just my hot take opinion. But
let's not do. We
can talk about that another day. We can talk about that another day.
Very quickly, we'll do something today. Right, here we go. So Sid, since you've been belly aching about, he's going to you first. I'm going to go to Darius first. Is that all right? Okay, Darius.
I had I don't know if you guys remember, I had my generic scoreline last year. That was, I used to choose when I didn't really know what the score was going to be. It was my 2-1. I said we'll never score more than like 3 or 4, and we'll always concede 1. I still feel like we're going to concede. I don't feel like we're that assured defensive team yet where I could say, we'll win 3-0. But the difference is I feel like we can score 3 goals against most, if not all, teams in the league now. So my new generic scoreline is going to be 3-1, because I actually think that we can. I think we can score 3 goals against most teams in the league, but I still don't think that defense is perfect yet. So 3-1. We'll definitely concede. I think we will.
Goals from?
We do goals as well, don't we? I'm gonna go Kane. I'm gonna go Kane 2 and Richarlison off the bench.
So you get a point for a goal scorer, and you get 3 points if you get the correct scoreline. You get a point if you get the actual win, lose, or draw. So again, I'm keeping the scores. Don't worry, it's going to be a table produced soon. Sid, I know you set me up with that little tweet and sent it around. People telling me, "Oh, you cheated, Sid." Well, no, I didn't. I just forgot. That's all it was. Sean, what's your scoreline then? Before I come to
I'm going
at the top.
I feel confident. Maybe it was the bang on the head I got on Wednesday, but I think we're going to win this 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, I'm going big on this. I think Kane, Son, and Richarlison will be amongst the goal scorers.
4-1. So Kane, how many?
Kane, Son. Oh, Kane will get 2. He's golden boot material this year.
So Richarlison.
He looks like the difference with Kane this season is he looks like he's scoring even though he's not playing the best. And he still used to do that, but normally Kane played well in every game. And now he sometimes doesn't play well and still gets a goal. That's what I like to see this season from Kane. I think the last game against Wolves, he wasn't that good at all, but nobody remembers that because he scored the winner. So As long as he continues scoring, I don't care how Kane performs. I really don't.
All that matters. That's all that matters. So, Sid.
Right. So, this is how it is. Don't tell me it's not worth fighting for. Everything I do it for you.
Oh,
That's going to be
God.
Son telling Conte tomorrow. So I think 3. Do you know what? Darius stole my thunder. I know, but I think 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 to Spurs, and it's going to be Antonio's Conte, Prince of Thieves, going to Nottingham and coming out of there with the 3 points, and Son and Kane double.
Ooh.
Son. Everybody's got Kane scoring 2 goals today.
Yeah, and Son's
Interesting.
going to do it because
Right.
everything he does.
Can I ask what the midweek game is? Because I had no idea we had a
West Ham.
midweek.
West
Ham
Ham. Cockney Cup final, mate.
The West Ham away. All right, I'm going to get my scoring quickly then. I'm saying 2-0 to the Spurs, and I'm going for a Kane double because I think Kane is actually the one now who's almost guaranteed to score if we are going to score this weekend, and I think we will. I think it won't be as easy first half, but I think we'll control the game. And once we get that first goal, I don't see Forest scoring 2 goals. So if we get 2 goals, happy days. That was it. So I'm just going to thank some people here for watching. Jews Nuts is in the house. He put his score up as well. Very precise. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
No.
That's precise, isn't it?
Jews is in the house.
That's precise from Jews.
When you do stuff like that, you have to put a bet on because if that comes through, if that Perisic goals come through, you're not going to be happy, Jews. I promise you that.
Spurs TV in the house as well. Thank you for watching us. Who have got Tottenham away? Cheers, guys. Shout out to your stream and channel. Go over and check out Tottenham away. Brilliant channel. And Solo from the Man United agenda checked in as well. And Armory TV, both sister channels of ours. That is it, gentlemen. Thank you all for watching. Like the stream if you're watching live. Like it if you're watching on catch up. Catch up with these guys again, hopefully tomorrow when we do the review show. Unless, of course, me and Darius get to the game, or one of us might get to the game. Who knows?
I'm still advertising that, by the way. If there's anybody watching, if you know anybody with a Forest away ticket, send it my way, not Sam's way. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, God. There'll be no talking in that house.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
I won't be allowed back in the house, mate. I'll be sleeping in the garden.
I'm just not doing...
Have you thought of doing what them YouTubers do, man? Just try and sneak in.
I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm not got to that stage yet, but I was gonna go and wait in the city centre and just basically, almost be like a hitchhiker with my thumb out, seeing if anybody's on the way to the game or can't get to the game. So I'm still gonna do that tomorrow.
There'll be one major pub that Spurs fans go to. You need to locate.
I'm gonna be there. I'll probably be in a pub watching the game tomorrow, even if not, because I want to see a few friends after that game, hopefully. So yeah. If you have got tickets, then let me or Sam know. But if not, I'll probably be still in Nottingham watching the game somewhere.
I went to the shops yesterday, my local shop, and I had my Tottenham stadium jacket on, bopping into the shop. And these guys were just looking at me like this, looking. We're going to bat you tomorrow. I was like, all right. I mean, don't worry about it. We'll see what happens. They were drunk, by the way. That's why they sounded like, but anyway, that's how they sound.
You know what the funny thing is, right? You know when you live in that city and you follow for example, you live in Nottingham and you're playing Tottenham tomorrow. Yeah. Everyone thinks when they see you in the kit, you're from Tottenham, so they start slagging your club.
Literally, it's so true. It's so true.
Literally was, you are going to get bad. Yeah. I was like, I don't know, right? Anyways. That was a funny thing. Anyway, thank you guys, and thank you all for watching. Darius, Sean, and Sid, it has been a pleasure as always. Let us get ourselves off to watch the Manchester United game first. Any score, by the way? No?
0-0. Man United.
I don't know.
It's 0-0, and Man United.
No.
Because they're wearing that yellow-green kit.
I hate that kit. I hate that kit. Oh God, I hate that kit.
Good on. Well,
come on,
the highlighter kit, isn't it, Sid?
It is 100%.
New kit as well. New kit, man. Look at that.
I know. I saw that.
Sam. Yellow because of the green screen.
The green screen, yeah.
It's the new kit, man. It's nice. Anyway, that's it.
Sid, I was going to say, I need to send this in the post to you because that match your kit pretty well as well. To be fair,
it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it looked good. It looked good.
Old school.
Big up the show. Come on, you Spurs. Our Spurs. Thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs, and choosing us. That's it, gentlemen. We are out. Let us hope for a comfortable. I want to see a comfortable control performance tomorrow. I don't want to see us under pressure and Forest and then people say, no, you see that shit, you got a shit team, you're just lucky. No, I want to see us control this game, beat them lot, and maybe be top 2, top 3. You never know. All right, that's it. See you later.